So Trevin Dorius, Rick Asanza to jump it up. And we are underway. Tap is controlled by LMU, by the Lions. It's Shelton off the weave. Arns up top. Kelly Leapepe, he's the guy with the mullet there that you just saw. Off the turnover, back the other way. Max Shilga all the way to the rim, has the shot rejected. And the shot was blocked by Jalen Anderson of LMU. Anderson's out of control and he travels. So a little tight, and perhaps the late start could be something that you could take a look at, you know, for these two teams being just a little bit out of sync just very early on. So first turnover of the game. Take a look at Ryan Odom there. Or sorry, that was Stan Johnson, head coach of LMU. Here's Funk going baseline. Funk wants to turn. Funk dribble, penetration, throws it up right-handed. And it pops out. Kelly Leapepe with the rebound. No score a minute into this one. Shelton, he can fill it up too. He takes over games. He's open in the corner and they don't see him. Shot clock is down to 15. Here's Anderson. He'll dribble in. Big man, Trevin Dorius. Now the timer's down to 9, down to 8. Penetration, Shelton off glass for 2. Cameron Shelton with the first basket of the night, had 26 on an assortment of moves inside and out in that game against Grand Canyon on Wednesday night. The pick and the roll, they couldn't get it in underneath to Dorius. Now back up top, Funk on the drive. Good defense there by Kelly Leapepe. Knocked out of bounds, 10 seconds on the timer, and it'll stay with Utah State. So they're trying to get it on the inside, down on the block. It appears to Dorius, but Santa's a big man inside too. They're both over 7 feet tall. They're both at 7'1". Comes into Shoga, double team. Outside, Ashworth for 3, and he bangs it in. Ashworth having quite a season. They call him Splashworth up there in Logan, Utah. Near steal, Shelton back outside, and that jumper by Arns is good for 3. Justin Arns had just 2 points in the game against Grand Canyon on Wednesday. Back the other way. Very quick release by Ashworth. Wastes no time. Leapepe deep in the corner, and that's Anderson. And off the miss. Here come the Aggies. Just underway, LMU with a 5-3 lead, but not for long. We are tied up as Bairstow with the finish inside. Didn't think we're going to see too much defense in this game. We're tied at 5. And man, I got to tell you, Stephen Ashworth just comes down and triggers. No conscience. Oh, man, is he fun to watch. And this is the team that can shoot over 50% from the field from behind the arc. Graham now into the game, Michael Graham. Graham 6'8" from Brooklyn, New York. Arns gets bottled up top by Taylor Funk. 10 on the timer. And around that big screen comes Shelton. Penetration, pump fake, has a shot blocked. It is rejected by Bairstow. Bairstow, a big, like small forward at 6'8". Stutter step, and we're going to get a charge. That goes against Max Shilga. So here's Shilga, and he just knocks down Kelly Leapepe. Could have been a flop. Partially, there was some contact there. Utah State already 4 fouls, 4 team fouls. Oh, sorry, 1 foul to none, 1 foul. So here's some backcourt pressure. Shelton, they break the timeline, but they throw it out of bounds. Very sloppy here in the early stages. Second LMU turnover. Or it was deflected. Sorry, that was deflected out of bounds. I thought initially it was going over to Utah State, but up top here is Shelton. Shelton, Leapepe, back to Shelton. Shelton working on Max Shulga, deep in the corner, turnaround three-point jumper, no good by Chance Stevens. Into the game, early substitute, back the other way. The penetration by Shulga leaves it off in the lane, and the bucket for two for Trevin Dorius. So Dorius gives the Utah State Aggies the 7-5 lead. Approaching that first media timeout. It's been a little sloppy, but you could just see how each team likes to play that fast pace. Stan Johnson in his third season. Assistant coach at Arizona State, at University of Utah, at Drake. Take a little air out of the ball. Get into the half-court set. LMU. Shelton dribble penetration, reverse, and one. What a drive. I mean, he just has another gear on the baseline. Take a look at this. Hesitation dribble, up and under. And that'll go on Dorius. That'll be his first personal foul, second team foul for the Aggies of Utah State. Dan Atkin will come into the lineup. He'll replace Dorius. So Atkin has been a player that they have relied on coming in as a reserve. Both Atkin and typically when Rylan Jones is healthy, Stephen Ashworth comes in. They're two really good energy guys. And in the game now for Shelton, he now has 4 points. And it's a 1-point lead for the LMU Lions. Here's Bairstow up top. Bairstow, dribble penetration, leaves it off. Atkin doesn't get it to fall, but Dan Atkin goes to the free throw line. And we have our first timeout, the media timeout. Shelton, dribble penetration. That should be an easy two as he lays it in off glass. Shelton in the game now with 7 points. It's a 1-point advantage for Utah State. This could be a lot of fun tonight, and hopefully it's worth staying up for all of us, right? Shulga up outside. Atkin had it. We've got a whistle. We've got a foul. It goes against Quan Marble, and that'll be his second personal. And just the second team foul on the LMU Lions. Okay, so Shulga to trigger it in. Try to find Ashworth and get him started. Ashworth has only taken a couple of shots. Down the low block, looking to turn underneath. That was Atkin. Funk. And the cutter, Bairstow, can't get it to fall. Front of the iron and off. Rebounded out by Michael Graham of LMU. Here come the Lions. Oh, nice hesitation. Dribble again. The penetration drive, and Shelton with the finish. And Shelton is on fire now. Has 9 points. And he's 4 for 5 from the field. 12-11. LMU. End-to-end action. Atkin up top here, Shulga. He's going to take it to the hole. No, he'll leave it off underneath Bairstow, and he's fouled in the act of shooting. So Sean Bairstow will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. And that is pretty much the sign of a good team. One that gets to the free throw line a lot. Foul was against Graham, and on Graham, I think he's got 2. That's his first personal. Okay. And Bairstow's free throw, that's long. I remember his brother, Cam Bairstow, played at the University of New Mexico. Bairstow, the senior from Brisbane, Australia. Second one short, 0 for 2 at the free throw line. LMU maintained that 1-point lead. Oh, nice penetration dribble inside off the miss by Merkfeladze, I should say, sorry. And now the other way, another miss. Here's Shelton. Shelton wants to slow it down a little bit. He just keeps turning the corner against his man, and they can't do anything to stop him. He has 9 points in this game. 10 on the shot clock. Merkvaladze had it. And inside, that's Merkvaladze as he's leaning out of bounds, and he picks up the basket for two. It's a 14-11 lead for LMU. Ashworth was cut off. He was sealed. We've got another foul.
Foul number 13, Lamage Lewis. His first.
Lamage Lewis, that'll be his first personal. And the fourth team foul on LMU. We saw Taylor Funk come out of the game. Z Homoda checking in for Utah State. They call Homoda a spark with this team, and he's a high energy guy. Ashworth looks underneath, and the dunk attempt inside, and he gets hammered as that was Atkin. Atkin gets pushed in the lane. It's on Lewis, and that's on Lamage Lewis's second. Could have been dangerous there as Atkin went up for the slam dunk. 5 team fouls already on LMU, just 2 for Utah State. And Atkin free throws good. Atkin had a couple of really good double-double games. 10 points, 11 boards against Bradley, 21 and 15 at USD. That San Diego game, that was an overtime win for Utah State. He makes both, and it's a 1-point lead again for LMU. Oh, around the screen. That's Arns. Arns pulled up. Back up top, that's Jalen Anderson. And then Lamage Lewis. Lamage Lewis switches hands and just throws that up. He rode off Z Hamada on the rebound. No whistle. Hamada loses the handle, picks it up. And RJ Idlerock is in the game. Idlerock inside, and Atkin with the finish for 2 more. And a 1-point lead now for Utah State at 15-14. The next break, we should get a timeout. That's Anderson pull-up jumper. That is good, and we've got a whistle and a foul underneath the basket. The foul is on Z Hamada. And so on Hamada, that is his first personal foul. And now it's the second team foul for Utah State. They maintain possession there. The Lions outside, that's an air ball by Arns, and it goes out of bounds off of LMU, which leads us to our second media timeout here in Las Vegas. 11:53 remaining in the first half of play, and it's LMU, the Lions 16, the Utah Aggies 15.
All right, fans, let's see how well you know Las Vegas. We've compiled a list of trivia questions about Las Vegas. Let's see how many you can get correct.
Welcome back. Tony Cardasco here in Las Vegas. We are at the Michelob Ultra Arena, and this is home of the world champion WNBA Las Vegas Aces. They play in this building, and what a fun weekend this is. And we've got a couple of more games coming up on Monday night here as part of this. Again, it's pretty much a round-robin type of a tournament, or it's just one game for most teams. And Creighton's got a couple of games already. They lost to BYU tonight, 83-80. And on Monday, they'll be playing against Arizona State. And also on Monday, we've got a game between undefeated New Mexico out of the Mountain West Conference. And they'll be taking on the University of San Francisco, a team that Utah State has already defeated. The Utah State Aggies at 7-0. They hold the series advantage against Loyola Marymount, 7-0. They last met in 2012 The first time they met was back in 1961. So they have some history. Five straight games, Utah State has hit better than 50%. They've dipped a little. They're just at 5 of 11 from the floor for 45%. Utah State has only taken 3 triple attempts, and they've made 1. And Ashworth is pretty quiet with just the 1 basket. So it'll be Shilga taking the basketball up the court. Lytle Rock, Atkin. Swing it on the left side. Z Homoda around a screen. There's Shilga backing down his man. Flips it outside. Here's Bairstow. Timer's down to 9, down to 8-7. And inside, that shot is wiped out of there. Sent back by Alex Merkverladze. So a nice block, and the shot clock was winding down. And Utah State had to do something with it. So we see some defense out of the Lions of LMU. Shelton has the ball stripped away. Back the other way. Bairstow leaves it off. That's Idle Rock. Back up top. As they'll try to settle it down. Shilga had his man. He gets a screen as he lost Shelton momentarily. Back to Bairstow. Using a lot of clock time and a foul at the top of the key on Kelly Leapepe. So that'll be the 6th team foul and the first personal foul on Leapepe. Good defense by LMU so far. Shilga deep in the corner. Over to RJ Lytle. Idle Rock, I should say. And that turnaround jumper in the key, no good. Off the miss by Dan Atkin. And back the other way. Ball's knocked out of bounds by RJ Idle Rock. The transfer from UMBC came over, sort of a package deal, right, with his head coach, Ryan Odom. Last year, Utah State was a team that went 18-16 overall and 8-10 in conference play. Next foul on Loyola will put them over the foul limit. So things have kind of slowed down here after pretty fierce first 5 to 7 minutes. Leapepe, a lot of moves inside, just chucks it up, can't get it to drop. Rebound comes down to Utah State. They want to run it out of there, and now Homoda just pulls it back again. Here's Shilga. Shilga, penetration, goes to the hoop, throws it up. That was way off the mark. Here's Anderson of LMU back the other way. Lions in possession. And now he's going to take it to the basket, and no one's home, and it just falls out. Can't get that to fall. Falling down was Sean Bairstow. And back the other way, the pull-up by Shilga, one and done it appears to be for Utah State. Yep, tapped out of bounds. Last touch by RJ Idle Rock. It's getting sloppy here. Utah State 0 for its last 4 and 1 for its last 8 field goal attempts. And the scoring drought at 2:35, and LMU hasn't scored over the course of the last 2 minutes and 25 seconds. 1 point lead for the Lions of LMU. And they have never beaten Utah State. Anderson around a high screen. Anderson on the pull-up from 15, and he drains it. Jalen Anderson usually runs the pace for this team, and he was the first recruit for Stan Johnson. And we've got a foul. And this will go against Cameron Shelton, so that'll be his first. And Cam got hit in the face, I guess. I think they're going to come over and take a look at this. Yeah, they are. See if there was any flagrant foul in there. So Shelton jumps up, and he's going to be okay, it appears. Shooting so far, wow. Utah State they just are not in a shooting groove. They are just 5 for 15 from the field, and that's 33%. 1 for 3 from behind the arc so far. Loyola Marymount not much better at 44% on 8 out of 18, and they're 1 for 4 from behind the arc for 25%. Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles, 7,138 undergrad. Their 3 losses, they're 8-3 this season. They lost to UC Riverside in a game that they blew a lead at halftime, and they lost to UC Irvine, and they also fell at Colorado State. Preseason ranked 9 out of 10 teams, and they won a big tournament in Jamaica, Jamaica Classic, and they defeated 2 name programs. One, now the brand identity is pretty good. The foul's on Ashworth, and I think that's it, just the foul, just the common foul. So they beat Georgetown, which is not as good as its brand name, is what I was about to say. They also defeated Wake Forest, which is a very good team, but you know, you get a couple of big wins there against Power 5 opponents, so that's pretty good. Okay, so they finally get Ashworth. He'll be at the line. It's a 1-and-1, and he does not get the bonus. So now we go back to the other side, and we've got Shelton shooting 2 free throws. These teams can't even shoot free throws right now. They must be sluggish. They've got to be tired. Second one just rolls in. So it's a 4-point lead for LMU. 9 minutes to go. Yeah, let's see if these offenses could start to click. Shelton. Or for Ladze. And we got a whistle. And that goes against Rick Asanza with a moving screen. And that will be the 8th team foul. And that's the first on Asanza, so 8 team fouls. Still a long way to go here in the first half of play from Las Vegas, from Mandalay Bay. Top, that was Funk on the handoff. And Shelga's running the point inside Ashworth. And the ball was almost knocked away, and then it finally was. And now they're scrambling for the ball. You see, that was kind of odd. They were calling for a timeout on the Loyola side, and the ball was still live. And that shot will drop for Jalen Anderson. The scoring drought for Utah State is 335 currently. And they're not going anywhere offensively. There's hardly any movement. The drop off to Atkin, and he will draw the foul on the drive. Foul will go against Jalen Anderson. And so on Anderson, that'll be his first. We'll watch this again. Nice drop-off pass, but he gets tied up there, Atkin, by Jalen Anderson. So free throws so far, Utah State 4 out of 7, and 2 out of 3 for LMU. Well, that's a good sign. 7-0 run over the last 3:47 for the Lions of LMU. It's been 4 minutes since Utah State has scored a field goal. Just slow down. Okay, so makes them both, and it's down to a 4-point lead for LMU. We've had those early ties, and now it's been mostly LMU on the lead, controlling the tempo, the pace. And here's Shelton, spin move in the lane. Leah Pepe got popped in the face, but no whistle. Back to Shelton, pull up 3-point shot is good. Cam Shelton is on fire. He now has 13 points and 2 of his shots falling from behind the three-point arc. Hamada on the spin move, lay it up with the right hand for 2. So Hamada scoring the deuce. Now we're picking up the pace and the tempo again. It all relies on Shelton, who smoothly takes a 3 and drains that one. My goodness, he's on fire. That just looks so effortless. So Shelton in the game now with 16 points. He's 6 for 7 from the field. And he's drained 3 3-pointers. Here's Shoga. He's backing down. Leapepe. Pull-up is short. Utah State is absolutely not in sync. Anderson deep in the corner. That three-pointer, and you could ring up that 3. As Justin Arns hits the triple, and suddenly, look at this burst. 30-19 your score, and LMU has made its last 5 field goal attempts. Step aside momentarily, an 11-point lead for the LMU Lions. I really do feel that the biggest disappointment so far in this game is that the bench hasn't really produced like they typically do. And Stephen Ashworth, who is playing so well of late, he just has 3 points. He's only taken 2 shots and might feel more comfortable coming off of the bench. As we told you from the top, Ryland Jones is out still with a concussion. This will be his second game that he's missing after he was concussed in that game against Utah Tech. This bench for Utah State's bench is 3rd in the nation coming into this game in scoring, averaging 39 points per game. It's a lot of points in your bench production. Some players just feel better playing in that role of coming in as the 6th man or so. Yeah, Ashworth, the first player at Utah State to drain 7 or more threes over the course of 2 games. Made 7 threes in the Oral Roberts game, and against Utah State he made 8 triples. 5 straight field goals, 6-0 run currently. In just 30 seconds, they scored the 6 unanswered with those 2 triples. LMU. Atkin, the high screen. And now we've got a whistle away from the ball and a palm. They called a palming violation on Funk. Something you do not see often. Just 35% when they've had this run of all these games where Utah State has averaged better than 50% from the field. Cameron Shelton's been on fire. He's got 16 in the game here in the first half. Leapepe throws it up with a right-hander, and that's a make for Kelly Leapepe. Had 17 against Grand Canyon, and that's his second basket of the night. He's got 4. It's 32-19. And there's the hesitation dribble. Shelgo's just getting smothered. And we've got a whistle and a foul on Anderson. And that's his second personal. And I don't know if you could hear Stan Johnson in the background. Oh, Anderson, what do you do? There'll be 3 shots on that corner 3 attempt. And so it's a good way to get back into some sort of a rhythm for Stephen Ashworth. Call him Splashworth from Alpine, Utah, the 6'1 junior. LMU has made now 6 of its last 6 field goal attempts. They are really on fire themselves, shooting 57% now from the field. And they've also drained 4 triples here in the first half. Arns has a couple, and Shelton has a couple. So the lead is at 10 at 32-22 in favor of LMU. Shelton again had a man on a curl. That was Chance Stevens, but didn't see him. Looks for Arns up top, gets it to him. Timer's down to 10. It's Arns, high dribble, and he'll pull up at the free throw line. That jump shot no good. That ball's headed right here, and I got it. That was me. It's all hands. Thank you. I'm in the second row over here. I caught the ball. You get to keep it. They used to do that in arena football. Of course, in baseball you can, and then you can charge a player several millions of dollars if you catch a legendary home run or something. Up top, the pass up the 3, and there's Bairstow. That shot's wiped out. That's going to be goaltending on Rick Asanza. So credit the bucket to Sean Bairstow. And Utah State just chipping away. Let's see if that ball's on the way down. Absolutely. Aggies had cut the lead down to 8 here. Still 5 minutes to go here in the first half, and now the pressure is extended for Utah State. They break the timeline. Quan Marble is in the game. He handles the ball up top. Stevens. The bench wants him to do something. Utah State packing it into a zone. It's a matchup zone. And it looks like some semblance of a 1-2-2. And there is Chance Stevens with the miss. Back the other way. Nice pass. Dribble penetration. Shilga. And foul outside. That'll be the first personal on Chance Stevens. So good in transition. And we saw Max Shilga just getting hounded there. And so LMU over the limit now, so 2 shots on every foul. The State just 4 fouls here in the first half. Shilga had a game of 10 points and 10 assists against Utah Tech. From Kiev, Ukraine. Of course, very, very nervous and worried about his family back at home. And we could talk more about that, but Shelton breaking the timeline. 4.5 to go here in the first half. Thought this would be a higher scoring game, but Utah State has not been able to score much here. Leapepe, his little runner there with the right hand, no good. They kick it out, back the other way. Ashworth leaves it off. Bairstow with a dunk and a facial! My goodness! He just jams it on Rick Asanza. Let's take another look at this one. Where did this come from? Bairstow goes 6'8". Oh, what a facial. My goodness. Oh, that was fun. So Bairstow is 6'8", and Asanza 7'1". And he just goes over the top of him. And if that doesn't get you back into this game, I don't know what does. And Utah State now currently with a 9-0 run over the last minute 55. So basketball is absolutely a game of runs. And this is what happens. You just have to kind of weather the storm and then come back and start to play and try to get a run on your own end. Loyola Marymount after this, they will be hosting Cleveland State at home there at the Gersten Pavilion coming up next Sunday. And while we are at it, I do want to send along our prayers and condolences to the family of former LMU head coach Ed Gorgian, Gorgian passed away last night in Southern California. He was the head coach at Loyola Marymount from 1980 through 85. And I had a good encounter with Coach Gorgian because he was an assistant coach here in Las Vegas for UNLV back in 1992. And so condolences going out to the coach, to his family. Just very sad news to get today. And one of the players, I think it was Kelly Lea Pepe for Loyola Marymount, was coached in Australia by Ed Gorgian's son. And so there's a lot of ties there with that family. A legendary coach in Southern California on the high school level as well. So that was our final media timeout here in the first half of play. They go on the high post to Stanza. Stanza finally gives it off to Chance Stevens. Stevens up top. Here's Shelton. Shelton wants to shoot, runs into a man, throws it up, and he draws the foul. Runs right into the chest of Trevin Dorius and Shulga, who was there as well. And on Shulga, that will be his second personal. So Shulga now has 2 personals. So Shelton at the line already with 16 here in the first half. Makes good on the first of 2. Cameron Shelton from Chino, California. He scored over 1,000 points at Northern Arizona University, and he transferred to LMU for senior year. And he has really been the star of this show, but he misses that free throw. Shelton at the free throw line, 3 out of 4. That's his first miss from there. He has 17 points now in the first half. High screen. Is there a roll? Bairstow up top. Idle Rock. Bairstow pump fake. Back to Idle Rock. Timer down to 7. Deep in the corner. That three-pointer by Taylor Funk falls short. Funk with the follow. Can't get it to fall. And out of bounds. Last touch by LMU. You know, they always tell you, right? Follow your shot and all that. Well, that's what he did. That's where you get rebounds, and especially some of the shorter players. But could not get it to go down, but that shot goes down on the dunk by Trevin Dorius. Dorius with his second bucket. He has 4 points, back the other way. Shot was wild by Shelton. Gets his own rebound. Deep in the corner, Chance Stevens. And the ball's wedged up there. And possession arrow pointing to Utah State. 33-30. These teams started off rather hot, and then each team has cooled off and has had some runs. And currently, Utah State is on an 11-1 run over the last 309, and Loyola has missed its last 5 shots from the field. So here's Bairstow again. He gave it up. He got it to the paint, got that paint touch. Got a holding call. That'll be a second personal on Shelton. So Ashworth back to the line to shoot 2 more. He's 3 for 4 from the free throw line. His team is 11 for 14. Now it swishes. Leading scorer for Utah State so far is Dan Atkin with 8. And Cam Shelton with 17 for LMU. Makes good on both. And here come the Aggies. The largest lead on the night was 13 for LMU, but Utah State has chipped away. Shelton up top. Shelton has a screen up top. Mark Veladze, and we got a foul. And that will go against R.J. Idlerock. And that will be just the 6th team foul on Utah State. So here comes the inbound pass. Coming to Shelton. So smooth in his shot. Chance Stevens was bottled up. Work for Ladze. 9 seconds, 8, 7. Shelton with the ball. Shelton wants to step back, down to 4, down to 3, takes it to the basket, lays it up and in on the drive. Make that 19 points now for Cameron Shelton. It's back to a 3-point lead for LMU. Bairstow, the little floater in the lane. Bairstow's starting to pick up his game. He now has 8. It's a 1-point lead for LMU. Minute and a half to go here in the first half. Shelton, dribble penetration, goes up inside and draws the foul. 2 shots. 2 shots upcoming. And that's on Idle Rock. That will be his second or his third. And that's his second. And Shelton makes the first free throw. I thought he was lighting it up when he had 26 against Grand Canyon. And here he is tonight. He's got 20 already. Still a minute and a half to go in the first half. He's just so smooth. He's a smooth operator. He truly is. (37-34). See what the Aggies can do here in the final minute and a half. They're moving a lot better. It's Bairstow, running one-hander is good. Bairstow now in double figures. He has 10, and they're getting more aggressive and starting to go to the hole. Top, Cam Shelton. Shelton directing traffic. Faces a 2-3 zone now by the Aggies of Utah State. Here goes, oh my goodness. Cam Shelton now with 23 in the first half. He's got 23. There's Funk underneath. Shot was rejected. Rejected as Dorius went up. Got about a 16-second differential. And so Shelton up top. Crossover. Pull up now this time. Can't get it to fall. Hail the iron and off. Let's see Utah State now. Game clock is off. Let's see what they could do. Shot clock is off, I should say. Game clock still running. They have ISO up top. Guards always wait too long for me. Just go to the basket. Here's Ashworth. Now down to 8, down to 7. Now here's Bairstow. They better get a good shot out of this. He drives in the lane, can't get it to fall, and that'll do it at the end of the first half. It's been a good first half, and so that's what he did. He makes good on that second free throw, and now 7 points for Anderson. That's a 4-point lead for LMU. Utah State up top. Here's Shulga. Got past his man, but gave it off to Bairstow. Bairstow in the lane. They're overpassing right now. Scramble. And the ball is tied up, and it'll stay in the same direction. I feel that Utah State could be a little bit more selfish in this game. So they keep passing it around rather than, up top they're getting by their man. That's Shulga, throws up an air ball. They get the ball back, and there's Ashworth for 3. And now he has 11 points. It's a 1-point game. Shelton, let's see how they guard him in the second half. Taylor Funk is on him man for man up top, and then the double team. So someone's got to be open. Boy, a two-handed block by Trevin Dorius. Back the other way. That was Ashworth off the miss. They're fighting for it underneath. Taylor Funk can't come out with it. And Cam Shelton back the other way. Here's Shelton, nice cross. Leah Pepe's usually better in the second half. Swish! This guy just seems to wake up and step up in the second half of games. Kelly Leah Pepe. And we got a whistle down in the other side. That ball just comes off a little flat, I thought. It was almost like a knuckleball. Leopepe now with 5 points. He's a mismatch inside, and every time there's 50-50 balls, he seems to be around him. Back the other way, the answer. Max Shulga for 3. These teams are starting to heat up. They came out pretty strong, and then, as we said, they just kind of went back and forth with runs, and then it evened out at the end of the half. Anderson pull-up jumper, no good. Battle for the rebound, cleared out by Utah State. Shulga, dribble drive, lays it up with the foul outside by Michael Graham. If that's on Graham, I think that'll be his third. So 3 personals on Michael Graham. Just a couple of minutes in. Good pace to start the second half. 23 on the shot clock. See if the Aggies can take the lead here. Bairstow running the point. Taylor Funk drives to the basket. Pump fake, goes up off glass. No, he left it short. Leopepe, good defense, and then he gets the rebound for LMU. Leopepe up top. Around the curl. The return pass. Now backing down is Leopepe. Here's a bull. He's very strong. He's fading away and draws the foul. They're going to say that that was on the floor. That's on Bairstow. And that'll be just his first personal. Second team foul here in the second half for Utah State. 2 fouls apiece. They set a high screen. And they tried to sneak through one of the players inside Arns. And we've got a foul outside. It's on Ashworth. We have 3 free throws coming up on the 3-point attempt. So going to the free throw line is Chance Stevens. He's pretty much a sniper. That's what they call him because he comes in and he just fires away. Stevens, that is his first point, however. He's 0 for 4 from the field. He had a game against Wake Forest in that victory in the Bahamas in which he had 7 3-pointers. In Jamaica, I should say. 7 threes he made. Somewhere warm. Somewhere warmer than Las Vegas tonight. It remains a 3-point lead. Shulga gets it in the corner. Ashworth, and now lean-in jump shot. That just bounds out. Rebound underneath to Chance Stevens of LMU. Shelton. Good defense by Bairstow. Doesn't defend with his hands. Bairstow had to push Leopepe outside. Shelton likes to trigger here. Whistle away from the ball. And an offensive foul against Rick Asanza.
Offensive foul, number 22, Rick.
So on Asanza, that will be his second personal foul. Each team with 3 team fouls. Bairstow, again, drives in the paint, leaves it off. Ashworth gets in the lane, leaves it off, and that shot was no good, but a foul on the drive to the bucket once again by Max Shulga. So Shulga earns 2 free throws. That's on Chance Stevens, yeah. It's late, don't worry, man. And so Max Shulga goes to the line, makes good on the first. He was signed to go to Utah State by the former head coach there of the Aggies, Craig Smith. He was playing in Spain. Played on the 2019 Under-18 FIBA Euro Championship team. That's a lot. And from Kiev, Ukraine, very concerned about everything there. There's a trap in the backcourt. And LMU breaks the timeline. Shelton hasn't even taken a shot here, has he, in the second half? No. Wide open to the corner. Here's Chance Stevens for three. Swish! Wide open. So much attention in that possession was paid toward Cameron Shelton that they forgot about Chance Stevens, who could fill it up. Ashworth with the answer for three. Let's go. We're all for this, man. The handoff from Leia Pepe and Chance Stevens. Back, hands it off to Shelton. Leia Pepe, about 15 feet outside. They have help side defense. His fadeaway is no good. It's a good job of defense on Leia Pepe. Here's Shelga. And then inside, they left it off, and the foul as Dorius went up will go. I think that's against the Sandra too. Nice handoff underneath. Now it goes against Kelly Leia Pepe. And on Leia Pepe, that will be his second personal foul. Well, quite a few players with 2 fouls. Well, Graham has 3 fouls for LMU and 2 personals apiece for Lamage Lewis, for Anderson, 2 for Leia Pepe, 2 for Sansa, 2 for Shelton, Cameron Shelton. They can ill afford to lose him. And Chance Stevens also with 2 personal fouls. And there's 4 players currently on the Utah State team that have 2 personals apiece. So Ashworth, Shulga, also Dorius, and Idle Rock. 48-47, long way to go here. In the second half, we see Utah State 3 of 7, but all 3 of their field goals coming from behind the arc, where they're 3 of 4 and 75% from behind the arc in the second half. And when you look at LMU, they are 2 for 5 so far through the first 4+ minutes, and they've hit 2 out of 2 from behind the arc. So here in the second half, we've seen 5 made 3-pointers between the 2 clubs. Utah State, after this game, will be hosting Westminster College and Weber State, and they will open conference at home against Fresno State on New Year's Eve, December the 31st. So if they could get this win tonight, they'll be 8-0, and I've seen Weber State play, and Weber State's an up-and-down team, but those are 2 winnable games. They could easily be 10-0. First free throw is good by Dorius. First appeared back in the 2016-17 season, and then he went on his LDS mission. Off the miss. I mean, a lot of these missionaries have to go overseas. He went to Scottsdale, Arizona. We're tied up at 48, and this is the 4th tie of this game. Shelton not looking to be offensive here so far in the second half. Now he looks up at the clock, down to 6, 5, and now he's going to drive, spin move, running one-hander, rolls off the iron. Here's Funk back the other way on a breakaway dunk! And Utah State takes the lead at 50-48. So that's their first lead in a while. Most comfortable lead, I think. No, their biggest lead was at 3, actually. Outside, Stevens squares up, 3-pointer. Nope, side of the iron. Perhaps time for a Utah State Aggie run. Outside, Shulga for 3. No, side of the iron, that was way short. And the board to Cameron Shelton. Now Shelton looking to push it, and he's going to be fouled. Well, you had Max Shulga backing up and just never stood his ground. It's the 4th team foul on Utah State and the 3rd personal on Max Shulga. LMU in the second half has committed 5 personals. Alex Merkbaladze to inbounds the ball. Kelly Leapepe. Bet you they try to pound it inside for Leapepe. This man sidesteps his screen. Now they have a mismatch underneath for Leapepe. Nobody saw him. Anderson circles around, takes it all the way inside, comes up way short. Ball kept alive. Leapepe lays it up and in on the stick back. Leapepe now with 7 points, and we're tied again for the 5th time tonight at 50 apiece. Because Atkin dribble drive, lay it up, right-hander good. Nice shot inside. Atkin now in double figures, he has 10. Aggies are leading by 2. Anderson, nice cross. And now the dribble penetration. And Quan Marble almost turned the ball over. The timer's down to 9. Does Leapepe see it? Nope, charge. A charge on Leapepe, and that'll be his 3rd personal foul. So they need Kelly Leapepe in the lineup. Here's Leapepe, jab step. Yeah, he just extended that right arm a little bit as he tried to get around his man. I saw in the LMU notes and in the media guide, it's at 2021-22 highlights for Kelly Leapepe. It says mullet. Taylor Funk, we want the funk, we got the funk. And it's a 4-point advantage for Utah State. My goodness. That's on Shelton, and that'll be his 3rd personal foul. So suddenly, the Lions are coming unglued. Yeah, just pushed off. He banged into Sean Bairstow. Or was that Ashworth? That was Ashworth. Stand corrected. 12 and a half remaining down the center of the lane. That is Bairstow with the dunk. And it suddenly is a 6-point advantage for Utah State. LMU is unraveling right now currently. I mean, I really thought that they would have, just more pace and continue to get the ball into Shelton's hands here in the second half. Shelton with 23 points, but they've gone pretty stagnant and they're just not moving away from the ball like they were in that first half. And good defensive intensity now for the Utah State Aggies. They've definitely stepped up things here on defense. And LMU now also with those personal fouls now over the free throw limit. So every free throw now will be the 1-and-1. 7 team fouls here in the second half and 4 for Utah State. Utah State's doing better defensively pretty much, and definitely doing a good job in drawing the fouls there, and a couple of charges here of late. So currently Utah State is heated up to 47% from the floor, 45% for LMU. This is a 6-0 run in favor of Utah State over the past minute 9, and over the last 3:36, it is a 12-2 run. Utah State has made its last 3 field goals. Remember, in the first half, they had that run where they had 6 consecutive field goals that they made. 12-2 run. It is a game of runs, and now LMU needs to counter and keep their cool because the referees are starting to catch up to them as well. I always look at the plus minus, and with Sean Bairstow on the court tonight, his team is plus 16. So they've outscored LMU by 16 points when he's out there on the court. Yeah, just no movement away from the ball. That shot is rejected from behind Shelton by Atkin. So they're getting some good weak side help as well. Shelton 8 out of 14. Quan Marble has it and has the ball knocked away from him. And there's 7 seconds on the shot clock. 7.7. No, there's tenths of a second on the shot clock. The next timeout, we should get that media timeout. Inbounds. Here's Shelton down to 5, down to 4. Dribble drive, lay it up. Short! He came up way short. Had a clean look at the basket. Here comes Funk the other way. Outside, it's Z Hamoda. Hamoda backing down Anderson. Oh, nice move inside, and he puts it away for 2 more. The run continues. It's now an 8-0 run and 14-2 over the last 4+. Deep in the corner. And underneath the bucket, lay-in for 2. Merkvaladze. Alex Merkvaladze with the basket there. That's a mouthful. Timeout at the next dead ball situation. Idle Rock had it. The ball was knocked away momentarily from Dan Atkin and picked up by Kelly Leapepe. Down the other side, again, drive to the basket, go up and shoot it. Merkvaladze had a clean look straight ahead at the basket. For some reason, he tries to kick it outside. There's 10:54 remaining, and Utah State now has its largest lead of the night. It actually ties the largest lead of the night at 6, 58-52 here in Las Vegas. There's not been a lot of turnovers in this game, just 7 for LMU and 4 for Utah State. They've done a really good job in protecting the ball. Free throws, there's a little disparity there. We see where Utah State has shot 20 free throws now to 12 for LMU, but LMU just cannot get out of their own way. They really are not doing a good job in playing defense with their feet, and they're fouling an awful lot. Loyola Marymount has a player that I saw play locally out of Bishop Gorman High School, that powerhouse school. Noah Tate, he is on the roster, the Stanford transfer. And Damian Douglas, 6'7" senior, who averaged 11 points per game for LMU, is also out of the lineup. So at some point this season, they're hoping to get back one or both of those players. Yeah, Noah Tate was a pretty good player, but he's been injury plagued. He played at Stanford, and now he's here with Loyola Marymount. Fans having a good time. This place was very loud in that Creighton game earlier. In that BYU game, I should say. Oh, there's a push-off up top. That's on Ashworth. His 3rd personal. Fouls are starting to add up on each side. That's the 5th team foul. Verladze had it, got it up top to Shelton. Here's Leapepe. Pump fake. Turns around and has that shot deflected. Shot was blocked inside. I thought Atkin might have gotten a piece of it. Here's Funk. That could be a flop right there, no? They called a late charge. Let's see. Okay, that's the first on Funk. Nah. Play on, play on. Incidental contact. Hey, at least we haven't had one of those flop calls in this game yet. But just about every game that I've broadcast over the past month or so, here's Leo Pepe for three. No. Can he follow it up? He doesn't. He got blocked out. Again, good defense by Dan Atkin down the other end. That pull-up by Hamoda is no good. One and done for Utah State. Jalen Anderson clears. Here's Anderson up top. Merfolazze, he maneuvers inside. His little jump hook doesn't drop, but he's fouled. So the 6'9", 230-pound junior, Alex Merfolazze, will go to the line. And each team now in the bonus. 17 fouls apiece. Utah State has made 4 out of its last 5 field goal attempts. And they're up to 48% from the field. Merfolazze, first free throw is good. Merfolazze now with 5 points. Ashworth and Hamoda are checking out. And Max Shulga returns. I think RJ Idlerock is back too. And the lead down to 4. Under 10 to go. Oh, the give and the go and the dunk inside by Dan Atkin. A little backdoor action. Shelton just throws it up and traffic can't get it to fall. And it's out of bounds off of Utah State. 22 seconds left on the shot clock. Asanza comes in for Kelly Leapepe. Oh, look at that backdoor play. Nice cut. Shulga and the finish inside by Dan Atkin. Atkin did give them some good minutes while he was in there. Now it's 12 points in the game. Anderson dribble penetration, steps on the baseline and out of bounds. So at LMU, that's their 8th turnover. Utah State still surprising with only 4 turnovers in this game. Shulga and Bairstow. It's 5 out. 5 players out, nobody in, but then inside, oh, that should be, wow, thought that was goaltending on Asanza, but it's not. And then the 3-point shot by Funk. And that falls. Was there some basket interference on that call, on that play? 62-54 is your score. LMU just not shooting the ball well here in the second half. They're just 4 out of 12, 4 out of 13, I think. And now the makeup call off of that basket, I think. And that will go against Rick Asanza.
Number 22, Rick Asanza.
On Asanza now, that's his 3rd personal. Referee coming over to talk to Stan Johnson. He thought that it was a goaltending call. The ball just actually bounced up on the rim and then dropped. Loyola with no field goals over the course of the last 2.5 plus. It's the Jack Jones Hoop Fest. Oh, nice pull-up jumper. That rings out of there for Bairstow. They battle for the rebound, kept alive, pulled down by Asanza. You hear Stan Johnson saying go. Merfolazze, Chance Stevens. Jalen Anderson, cross court. Merfolazze, dribble drive, goes up with the right hand. That won't fall. Tipped up by Asanza. Cannot get it to drop, and the possession arrows pointed in the direction of LMU.
Back to the Aggies, number 3, Stephen Ashworth.
LMU over the summer, late July and August, they did one of those international trips that you could take once every 4 years. So they went to Athens and Rome. And with 5 new players, they really wanted to see how they could prepare for games and bond more or less. And I think it really does help teams gel together a lot quicker. 8 seconds, 7. Anderson right at the point. Anderson down to 4, 3, pushes off his man, throws it up, won't go down, kept alive, and pulled down by Trevin Dorius. 0 for the last 5 field goals and a 2:05 drought for LMU. We've got a whistle and a foul.
Foul number 2,
Justin Arns with his second personal. We'll have free throws when we return to the action. But here in the second half, it's been all Utah State as they've extended that lead to 62-54. An unsolved mystery in Las Vegas. Where has Cameron Shelton been in the second half? He's got 23 points, and he really has not been doing much on the offensive end. And yes, you can attribute part of the fact that he's been shut down to the defense of Utah State, but he's not even shooting the ball. Let's see if they put him back into the lineup. Yeah, he's checking in right now. Cameron Shelton, it's his final year. Both Shelton and Jalen Anderson can run the point for Loyola Marymount. I think they've been a bit of a surprise in the early part of this season. And these are games that they really do need to play well in, get their confidence levels up. But yeah, they've missed their last 5. They've made just 1 out of their last 9 field goal attempts. So we have free throws upcoming, and Max Shulga will go to the free throw line. So Shulga from Kiev, Ukraine. And Shulga said at the time of the Russian invasion of his country, off the miss, he said it just did not feel real. His family and friends are still there. And there's a lot of people that he's close to that he FaceTimes nearly every day, and he's still very, very concerned. But Bairstow much taller on Shelton now. Shelton looking to turn around, finally leans in the air. Boy, he's ice cold, and you can attribute that stop there on the defensive effort by Sean Bairstow. But back the other way, here's Anderson. Anderson slows it down. It's a big screen from Leopepe. Here's Arns back up top. Cam Shelton, it's almost time for him to just take over. Leopepe deep in the right corner. Leopepe fade away. That fall away is going to be short. Cannot buy a basket. 0 for their last 7. 0 for their last 7. And Utah State's going nowhere fast. They're just going to get into their half-court set and try to distribute the ball. Ashworth, dribble penetration through the lane. Outside Taylor Funk. Funk goes one way, turns around, and it drops. A 10-point lead for Utah State. They trail by as many as 13 in this game. Anderson got by his man, left it off. We got a whistle and a foul. 6-0 run over the last 3:33 for Utah State. Okay, so Michael Graham, they want to make sure they have the right shooter because each team in the bonus, and 2 free throws coming up for Utah State from this point forward. 10 team fouls. Okay, so I think it's Max Shulga that will go to the free throw line. So everyone very concerned about Shulga, the coaching staff. Ryan Odom said that he checks in all the time, repeatedly, and just make sure that he's okay. There are currently 4 players in college basketball and college hoops from the Ukraine. Yeah, it will be Shulga going to the free throw line. There's a lot of chatter going on out there. I know what Ashworth just said, but he drew some applause, so Shulga at the line. First one's good. 3 turnovers as well for LMU over the last 3:46 in which they have not scored. They are stuck on 54. Again, I don't know what's gone on with Shelton, with Cameron Shelton, but they're off the long rebound, back to the free throw line, and that'll be on Marble. So Quan Marble, University of Wyoming transfer. They call him the glue guy, and a guy that was actually injured and missed the first 7 games of this season. And now Shulga will convert that free throw up to a 12-point lead. Got away quickly. LMU's running out of time. And Shulga on the second, that's good. And now Shulga in the game has 12 points, 13-point lead. Just confounding that Shelton up top has just been, now he's being hounded by Ashworth. Leah Pepe usually buries that shot. Oh, halfway down and out. Offensive board. Shelton, Anderson, dribble drive, whistle foul. So this will be a 1-and-1 situation. Taylor Funk's second personal, 8th team foul. And Jalen Anderson goes to the free throw line. The first recruit for Stan Johnson at LMU. Earns the bonus. Johnson in his 3rd season has done a really good job. They finished in 3rd place, LMU, in his first season, trying to get back on track. And as we mentioned, they play the tournament, the WCC tournament, here in Las Vegas, the Orleans Arena. So these are good games. Good games because when you play these multi-event games, you get 2 extra games that you could play. Oh, the reversal, played up and in for Atkin. Dan Atkin. Atkin in the game now with 14. Here's Anderson. They better start going quickly there. Anderson, swish on that pull-up from 15. That was a sweet-looking shot. Good rotation on the ball. He's got 11, and it's an 11-point lead for Utah State. So LMU gets back into some offensive rhythm underneath. That's Atkin. That shot is no good. And then on the reversal, the follow-up by Shulga. He'll go back to the free throw line. That's on Michael Graham. I think he's done. Yeah, he is. That's number 5 on Michael Graham, who departs without scoring any points. No shots. He's got a couple of rebounds in the game. He played over 9 minutes. Okay. So Alex Merkveladze returns from the Republic of Georgia. He's back on the court for LMU. Shulga now with 13. That was his 10th, I should say, free throw attempt here in the second half. Makes good on both, and now 14 points for Shulga, 14 for Ashworth, 14 for Atkin. That bucket will count and one. Quan Marble, I should say. Now what's the discussion? Let's see, what are they doing?
Previous play is under review.
Okay, the foul was on Dan Atkin. Did the bucket count? I thought it was continuation.
30 and Atkin.
So they're taking a look at it right in front of us. There they are. There I am. Glad you could be a part of our broadcast tonight. We appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll be back on the air on Monday night when we're going to have undefeated New Mexico taking on the University of San Francisco right here at Mandalay Bay. So you don't want to miss that. And also on Monday on FS1, Creighton will try to atone for tonight's loss as Creighton will be taking on Arizona State here. Blue Jays lost a tough one, 3-point loss tonight to BYU. It's a good rivalry between Utah State and BYU. So it's a 9th team foul against Utah State, 9 team fouls. And so we're just the 15th time tonight, or 17th time tonight. A free throw attempt coming up with Kelly Leapepe. Makes good on the first. They're having a good time with the mullet. That's for sure. Second free throw is good. Leapepe now in double figures. He has 10, but he's shooting just 3 of 11 from the floor. Still the drought continues for one Cameron Shelton. Here's Ashworth around a high screen. Shulga two-man game. And now Ashworth on the return three. No, off the mark. Anderson, good transition defense. At least 3 white jerseys got back to defend. Leapepe, no one guards him, and now he has a spin move on Bairstow, but kicks it back outside. Now Anderson on the way for 3. Swish! And a quick timeout. So don't go away just yet as Jalen Anderson drills that 3-pointer. And we've got a timeout on the court. We still have 4:13 to go. And it's an 8-point advantage for Utah State. Been back and forth at times in this game. And they're going to need for Shelton to step it up here and get back in the scoring column. Yeah, that was that dunk. My goodness, Sean Bairstow. And that's the facial. He even said, thank you for letting me blow by you. He blows right past Rick Asanza. A little bit of a flex, So LMU has just one timeout, but of course we'll have the media stoppage at the 4-minute mark. LMU just 2 out of its last 10, but they're still hanging around. They're only down by 8 points. Let's see, foul trouble. We've already had one player, Michael Graham of LMU, foul out. There's a ton of fouls in this game. And with 3 personals for LMU, I should say. Kelly Leapepe has 3. Asanza has 3. 3 for Cam Shelton. And 3 on the other side of the ledger for Utah State's Stephen Ashworth. 3 for Max Shulga. And there's a few players that have 2 personals apiece. Turnovers now, LMU up to 10 turnovers, playing really sloppy. 6 turnovers for Utah State. And it's a 71-63 advantage currently in favor of Utah State. We're going to go past midnight here in the Pacific time zone and 1 a.m. for all you fans in Logan, Utah. We sure do appreciate all of you tuning in tonight. Hope there's a good sorority or frat house party going on tonight in Logan. The fans are great up there. I believe that we will win. Of course, I always hear that chant whenever I tune in. Oh, the collision there, and that's going to go against Lea Pepe. And so on Lea Pepe, that's his 4th personal. Kelly Lea Pepe in his 4th season at LMU, off of a game in which he scored 17. And that free throw by Ashworth is good. Give Ashworth 15 now. 20, now 30 free throws. 30 free throws in the game for Utah State. 10-point advantage, under 4 to go. Jalen Anderson. Here's Shelton outside. Shelton. Bairstow's just giving him all sorts of problems in the second half. All sorts of problems. Anderson. He goes to drive, and another turnover, the 11th for LMU. So now Ashworth just going to settle it down. They spread the court. Good spacing for Utah State. You might have to start fouling them pretty soon, but you trail by 10. And the drive and the bucket for 2 more. And again, that was Max Shulga. Shulga in the contest with 16. 3:16 to go, and off the miss underneath, Lea Pepe was trying to grab the rebound off the miss there by Merkverladze. 75-63. Now under 3 minutes to go. Shulga. Oh, Ashworth had the lane. Shulga for 3. That's off the mark. And here comes Cam Shelton. Anderson, cross court. In the lane, Quan Marble. They just keep passing it up, and now we'll get an opportunity to see Shelton go to the free throw line. It's been so quiet. The first time, truly, that he's attacked the basket here in the second half. Well, actually, the second time. The first one was sent back and rejected. There he gets pushed, and will go to the free throw line. So Shelton in the game again with 23 points, but he's stuck on 23. He's got 5 rebounds. He has 3 assists. And that free throw is good. So make it 24. Now with 2:37 to go, you're probably going to have to start fouling and try to win, shorten the game if you can, and try to win a free throw battle of sorts. Merkverladze pulls down the offensive glass. Here's Quan Marble. Marble underneath, lays it up, and he draws the foul. And that will go against Dan Atkin. And that'll be his third personal. And 2 free throws each and every time. And, of course, the clock is stopped. It's an 11-point lead. Get this down to a 3-possession game. Make your free throws now late in the game. So Marble, first free throw, and that rattles in. Quan Marble off the bench tonight. That's his first point. He hasn't even taken a shot. I just see some tentativeness there, and that one rolls in. And so it is a 9-point game. Full court pressure upcoming. And let's see if they could get this press broken. Oh, and there's a collision. Man, Marble just could not time that correctly, and Shulga goes to the free throw line. So as we told you, a couple of games that Utah State should win at home, Westminster College, and a rivalry against Weber State, one of those rival games. Shulga at the free throw line, and that's good. Shulga now with his 10th make at the free throw line. He's 10 out of 12. He's got 17 points in the contest. 2:26 to go. And now if you're LMU, you have to try to counter with maybe a 3, go 3 for 2, 2 for 1, 2 for none. Whatever you could possibly do to try to make this a game late as we approach about 2:13 to go. And no one's cutting towards the basket. They clear it out for Shelton. He stops and he goes up for the shot, and he gets fouled again. 2 more free throws coming up for Cameron Shelton. That's how you can make things up fast, but they still have to get some stops somehow. Scoring here in the second half, 41-27 in favor of the Utah State Aggies. With 41 points. Shelton, no bueno. Shelton at the line has not been tremendous tonight. It's the one area. He's now 7 out of 11. 7-11, well, that's good numbers for Vegas. 2:07 remaining. Again, it's the full court pressure on the inbounds. Shulga. They got across to Bairstow. And now it's Stephen Ashworth off the double team. We're going to get a timeout for Utah State. There's a timeout on the court, and the Aggies now have 2 timeouts remaining, just 1 for LMU. It's a 10-point game. And that's about the only thing you can do at this juncture is start to foul. Well, they don't have any fouls to give. No one does. It's way over the limit here. LMU has made 2 of its last 11 field goals. Of course, Utah State and Ryan Odom is not putting in any of his big men, trying to get as many shooters out there as he possibly can. And so it's going to be, I think it's Bairstow, Ashworth, Shulga, Funk, and Atkin. It's pretty much how it's going to line up. Ryan Odom was at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and UMBC, as you might recall, the first ever number 16 seed to beat a 1 seed when they defeated Virginia in the NCAA tournament. You don't want to just let them run clock here. Down 10. Bairstow, turnaround jumper's good. Bairstow with 14. He's played so well and under control in this game. Outside deep, here's Marble. Marble's just a gun shy to shoot. And it goes outside. There's Cam Shelton for 3. Front of the iron. See with a minute 24. 12-point lead for Utah State. So Utah State looking to run its record now to 8-0. And also 8-0 all-time against LMU. They've never lost to LMU. Funk just pulls up, triggers a long-range 3. And that comes off the mark. And here's Marble, finally takes it all the way to the hole, lays it up, it bends off the iron. So final seconds winding down. 8-0 for Utah State. Utah State, UNLV, and New Mexico in the Mountain West Conference, all undefeated. Every one of those teams. There's Ashworth, 8 on the shot clock. And Taylor Funk. Funk tries to leave it off underneath. Leia Pepe had it. And now it goes to Anderson. And clear lane, clear path to the basket. And he didn't shoot it, and that'll do it. Time is going to run out. And Utah State comes up with a big win here in Las Vegas. So the final score, Utah State 79 and LMU 67. 43-28. Utah State outscores Loyola Marymount in the second half by 15, and LMU did not score in the final